They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
You're invited to the Bridal Show of the Future, a new twist on the typical bridal expo. Come out to experience the food, dancing, meet and greet, wedding event professionals, and win fantastic prizes. Friday, August 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. To purchase tickets, please visit thepostbridalshowgonzales.com or follow on Instagram. All proceeds benefiting the VFW Post 3693 of Gonzales. Support your local veterans.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are 2 busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Welcome as we start this week's final edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that all is well with you and your world. Since the last opportunity we had to spend a little bit of time with you, roughly some 24 hours ago. We start today's show under the moniker, Here We Go Again. Does the phrase, we have to pass the bill to find out what's in the bill, ring a bell? A number, actually 18, Republicans in the United States Senate are facing a lot of scorn today after voting yesterday to advance, after closing discussion and debate, of this $1.2 trillion Democrat-sponsored infrastructure bill. The Senate voted to advance House Resolution 3684, the legislative vehicle for this massive $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. What is so very disheartening about this is that these Republicans and the 18 Republicans and all the Democrats, with a couple of exceptions, voted to advance procedurally the bill without ever having read what's in the bill. And when you start getting into physical impossibilities, what makes this instance, for me, more egregious than the aforementioned, well, we have to pass the bill, Nancy Pelosi, to find out what's in the bill. At least in that instance, the bill had already been written. In this case, these Senate Republicans and all of the Democrats, save for a handful, could not read the bill because it doesn't exist yet. Let me ask you a question. Where you work, or where you at any time in your professional career worked, if the boss came in and announced, we're going to spend $1.2 trillion to improve the company, and after everybody was all excited and somebody finally raised their hand and said, boss, can you tell us what we're going to spend it on? Well, we hadn't figured that out yet. How much faith would you have that the $1.2 trillion would be spent responsibly? Now, that is what that is. It is the height of lunacy, particularly understanding there is no organization, entity, institution that any of us can think of in recent memory that has wasted, squandered, peed away more money than Congress. You can't name one group of people that have wasted more American dollars than Congress. And you will vote to advance $1.2 trillion in spending without ever once knowing what the money's going to be spent for. I guess if that weren't bad enough, to add a little bit of insult to injury, one of the 18 United States congressmen, senators, Republicans that voted for this malarkey was our very own Senator Dr. Bill Cassidy, Republican from Louisiana. When I saw his name on that list, I was incensed. But then I had to check myself. I said, well, wait a minute. The Bill Cassidy that you know now is not the Bill Cassidy that you thought you knew. I mean, after all, it's the same Bill Cassidy that voted to impeach then President Donald Trump. So I guess it really shouldn't shock me all that much that Senator Cassidy decided to vote to spend over $1 trillion of your money and doesn't have a clue where it's going to come from, what it's going to be spent for, how we're going to pay for it, and he'll call himself, to all who will listen, a conservative. You're right, Marty's doing this. Yep, wash my hands with you, buddy. I'm through with you. This is not the Bill Cassidy that I thought I knew. And at the end of the day, with inflation starting to run rampant, with all the other problems facing this country, with us already being in the neighborhood of, some 30 trillion freaking dollars in debt, you vote for this crap? You know, there's something to be said about individuals that, for whatever reason, arrive at a point in their lives where they figure, okay, I'm done with this. I'm going to do whatever. Let the chips fall where they may. Apparently, Bill Cassidy is in that bunch. Apparently. I don't know what has happened to him. And you've heard before, it's something about Washington, D.C. When you get there, you are who you are. But you're a whole different person by the time you leave. I was hoping, as I went down the list of these Republicans, that his name would not be there. But I'll be honest with you, there was that little voice in the back of my mind that said, don't get your hopes up, he's probably in that number. He is probably in that number. At the end of the day, these are tax dollars from the people you represent, Senator. And I could be 180 degrees off base, totally wrong. But my gut tells me the majority of the people that you represent, the overwhelming majority of the people that you represent, Senator, are not pleased with this move in any form or fashion. The overwhelming majority of them want to know, before you advance this cut-off debate and move the process along, we want to know what the hell is going to happen with our money. And you, turncoat, can't give us any clue at all. None. Why? Because the freaking bill hasn't been written yet. Of course, now, again, this is typically, and in recent memory, invariably, this is what happens when you get addicted to spending opium. OPM, other people's money. At some point, these chickens are going to come home to roost. At some point. And our children's children's children are going to be stuck with the tab for this. Of course, now, by then, Senator Dr. Bill Cassidy will probably be long gone. Then again, come the next election cycle, he may be gone. Just saying. Just saying. I guess in hindsight, and we've seen this coming, we've seen it come with increasing frequency, we've seen it come with ever-gathering momentum. The will of the people apparently no longer matters to those in the bubble/swamp that is Washington, D.C. If we don't put a stop to this crap soon, you can stick a fork in us, y'all. We're done. If you will do this with 1.9, 1.2, whatever, in excess of $1 trillion in spending, just wait until the Dems go to pushing the $3+ trillion plan with all the human infrastructure in it. I understand politics is what politics is. I get it. But I remember Bill Cassidy when he first ran for Congress. Had him on my show any number of times. This is not the guy that he was back then. This is not the guy that I voted for. And I'll tell you, unless something dramatic happens, this is not the guy I will ever vote for again. But hey, that's just me. That's just me. Speaking of spending money, your money. Great segue, by the way. Story out this morning shows one of the largest beneficiaries of COVID relief money here in Baton Rouge, in excess of, just for you, Marty, in excess of $1 million in COVID relief funds. You got to guess who this is. We'll tell you about that next as we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf & Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Go where summer leads you in an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. The recurring mantra, theme, MO, for lack of a better phrase, of how irresponsibly government spends our money never seems to run out. With the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, pandemic, and the resulting lockdowns of businesses all across the country, and here in Louisiana, obviously, as well, we saw our government attempt to ease the burden on business, understanding that in this country and in the system of capitalism, particularly in our country, small businesses drive the economy. And because of government mandates to shut down, the amount of economic damage was staggering. So the government did what the government does, came up with the idea of paycheck protection, stimulus spending, and of course, direct payments to businesses that were suffering financial losses because of the government-ordered shutdowns. The Baton Rouge Business Report published a very interesting article this week, and it says a lot about both government and access to government. You can probably name any number of businesses that applied for and received financial aid from the government because of the government-ordered shutdowns. But what is very, very interesting and very telling about this article from the Business Report is that of the $8.1 million handed out to businesses in Baton Rouge, the third largest went to one company, one business. Before I tell you who this is, let me give you a little context. This business accounted for right at 14%, rounded off, 15% of all the money sent to Baton Rouge to relieve businesses from the financial hardships incurred because of the lockdowns. This number 3 on the list that got about 14% of all the money sent to Baton Rouge, they received more than the Manship Theater, Theater Baton Rouge, the Louisiana Symphony, the Louisiana Arts and Science Museum, Playmakers of Baton Rouge, and Opera Louisiane, wait for it, combined. All of these entities collectively did not receive as much money as the number 3 business on the list. So who was this mystery business that received in excess of $1 million of what many of us typically call federal money, which is actually a pseudonym for your money? This business that received in excess of $1 million in COVID relief money was the Penthouse Club, aka a / strip club. $1.1 million in COVID relief funds. What's really interesting here, I mean, aside from the fact that how many of us know someone that owns a business that wasn't able to get any relief? I can raise my hand. Marty can raise his too. Does the name Scoreboards ring a bell? Out of all of these businesses that couldn't receive any financial assistance because of the government-mandated shutdown, and here is a strip club with 1.1 million. Now, I mentioned to you that this says a lot about government and how they spend money, but it also says a lot about access to government. When all of this was announced, and of course, government, gives you guidelines on who's eligible to receive money, who's not eligible to receive money. The SBA, Small Business Administration, put out a list of qualifications, things that your business can or cannot do if you are applying for these taxpayer dollars. According to the Business Report, The SBA regulations clearly state that establishments, quote, must not present live performances of a prurient sexual nature in order to be eligible for the program. So let me get this straight. The SBA says if you're presenting live sexually oriented performances, you don't qualify to receive COVID-19 funding. And yet, a gentleman's club here in Baton Rouge ends up getting more money than the Manship Theater, the Louisiana Symphony Association, Theater Baton Rouge, Louisiana Arts and Science Museum, Playmakers of Baton Rouge, and Opera Louisiane combined. Well, I guess Marty said, well, that's because they're providing the community service. Meanwhile, owners of the Penthouse Club told the local daily here, The Advocate, they haven't yet received the funds. Quote, the Penthouse Club, Baton Rouge, was eligible to apply for the SBA's Shuttered Venue Operators Grant and was informed that our application was approved. However, the grant has yet to be funded, and we still await this much-needed relief. In retrospect, y'all, really shouldn't surprise us. I mean, we are talking about the government that spent $600 on toilet seats. We are talking about the government that is right now spending close to $1 billion to replant shrubbery that was uprooted to make room for a wall to secure our southern border. We are talking about a government that in pulling out of Afghanistan and leaving all this military equipment paid for with your money for the Afghanis to defend themselves, now finding out that the Taliban is overrunning them, they are abandoning the fight, and this is the same government that says, well, we should use our drones to blow up the military equipment paid for with your money and left over there, even though we knew we would be withdrawing. So when you spend more money to bomb the bombs paid for by taxpayers, when you spend 600 freaking bucks on a toilet seat, I guess we really shouldn't be surprised that the third largest beneficiary of COVID relief funds is a strip club. Once again, more proof positive that the stupidest sentence you will hear is, hi, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And to think, those who were fortunate enough to work, this is where the money went, that Uncle Sam stuck his grubby little fingers in your pocket and took. At some point, hopefully, much sooner rather than later, the American taxpayer is going to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. One can only hope. Bottom of the hour break. We'll get this done. I know it's not Tuesday, but this is as big a testament under the headline of, now that's just stupid, This is one of the biggest testaments to what we are raising in this country than you'll ever find. And it happened right next door in the great state of Texas. That's up next as we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
You're invited to the Bridal Show of the Future, a new twist on the typical bridal expo. Come out to experience the food, dancing, meet and greet, wedding event professionals, and win fantastic prizes. Friday, August 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. To purchase tickets, please visit thepostbridalshowgonzales.com or follow on Instagram. All proceeds benefiting the VFW Post 3693 of Gonzales. Support your local veterans.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. You know, as a traditional American, having grown up in an era where common sense was not only revered, but it was expected. Regardless of what you happen to be engaged in, whether it was completely innocuous, whether it was all in good fun, whether it was a criminal act, we still prided ourselves on common sense in how we dealt with it and how we presented it. You know, you can say what you will about old-fashioned values, but having a sense of shame is something that served us well. There were many things sitting in that classroom as a third grader, eighth grader, senior in high school, or any time in college. There were certain things you didn't do because of the amount of shame that it would bring to you and or your family or the institution that you represented. There were certain things you just didn't do because you couldn't face your parents, you couldn't face your brothers and sisters, you couldn't face your neighbors, your teachers, all these other folks because of the amount of shame. I don't know to what degree, although it certainly plays a part, social media has played in all of this. There was a time, I guess, that you would do certain things, but your sphere of influence was limited. You knew, if I do this, if I get caught, then the people I know, the people directly around me, are going to criticize, ostracize, they're going to shame me. But now, with the advent of social media, there's so many idiots out there that pretty much no matter what you do, there's going to be somebody out there that will rationalize that, well, it's not that bad. You know, I might have done the same thing myself when I think about it. And it emboldens people to further exasperate their ignorance. For example, right next door in the Lone Star State, the great state of Texas. And for those of you that wonder, why does Clarence always say Texas? One of my best friends in life hails from the Lone Star State. And that's what he says. He always says it just like that, Texas. So I don't want to be, guilty of cultural appropriation. When in Rome, you do as the Romans do. He's a Texan. That's what he does. So that's what I do. But I digress. 2 teenage girls in Texas. One 17, the other 16. Are walking to a local convenience store. And they notice something that looks strange. So they investigate. As they get closer, they realize, whoa, this is bad. So they do what, sadly, most Americans would do these days. They pull out their cell phone and they start shooting video. As they get closer, they realize, whoa, this is not just somebody, this is a body. 25-year-old man who, they still don't know why, decided to end his own life. Hung himself from an overpass. At some point, the body fell, whether it was the weight of the t-shirt that he used or whatever. But the body fell and is laying in some weeds. So these 2 young girls filming the body notice there's a gold chain on the guy's neck. So after calling police to report this dead body, while filming said dead body, they then filmed themselves robbing the corpse. The 17-year-old. Now, here's where we started with this segment. Here's where it's proof positive. 1, it's a different day. 2, we no longer have shame. 3, social media contributes to all of this. After filming the dead body and themselves robbing the corpse, they then post the video on Snapchat, social media. Never once did this 17-year-old, who in not so long will be considered an adult. Never once did it occur to them, apparently, posting this on Snapchat is not the smartest thing to do. Young people that just happen to stumble across this show, let me save you a lot of misery and something a lot of y'all have no clue about. Save your parents, your neighbors, your loved ones, and your friends some shame. Then again, there's a lot of y'all out there, all the people you know, none of them have it either, so that's an exercise in futility. But let me save you some heartache, young people. Law enforcement regularly checks social media because of dummies like this. Law enforcement looks at Facebook all the time, y'all, because of idiots like y'all that will engage in one of the most macabre, horrendous acts for a living human being possible, robbing a corpse. You'll post it on Snapchat. So the police, monitoring social media, after someone called and said, y'all know they got a video on Snapchat of some girls here in Texas robbing a corpse? The cops said, well, we do now, thanks to your call. We'll check it out. Thanks for being a good citizen. So they look at the video, and then they go, wait a minute. We know her. She's a witness. She's one of the girls that called and reported the dead body. So apparently, in between the time they called and reported the dead body to us, they also robbed the corpse, filmed it, and then put it on social media. Now, we are all products of our life experiences, y'all. I get it. I understand. I am who I am because of the way I was raised, the people I was around, just like anybody else, etc., etc. You can't have shame if you weren't brought up a certain way, okay? But in instances like this, faking it is better than nothing. Here's what I mean. After law enforcement viewed the video, and I'm assuming they're going to charge her, as Marty brought to my attention, they should charge them in addition to abuse of a corpse. There should also be tampering with the crime scene as well. But when law enforcement said, wait a minute, she's a witness, they go and pick her up, and of course they ask, well, what led you to do this? Not what led you to post it on social media. We already know the answer to that, because you're stupid. We already know that answer. But they asked the 17-year-old, the older of the two, why did you do this? Her response, quote, because the necklace matched my fashion style. You know, that looks like something I would buy. That looks like something I would probably wear. That looks like something, that's coming next. That looks like something that'll go with a whole lot of other things I have in my closet. Plus, as Marty just said, he don't need it anymore. If it weren't bad enough that you are robbing a freaking corpse, you will film it and post it on Snapchat. And just think, in the very near future, they will be adults. Just think, in the very near future, they may be in a position of authority somewhere. And you are stealing the chain off the neck of a dead man, posting it on social media, and when busted, said, well, I did it because it matched my fashion style. Our young people are speaking to us, y'all. Sadly, not nearly enough of us are listening. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
The all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Not laughing at you, Amy. This is something else entirely different. Speaking of social media and big tech, and how, all right, I'll get to it. I'll get to it ASAP. How big tech, with all of this technology out there, chooses instead to remove the human element and use algorithms and the like for governing what they feel you should or should not be able to say. It is partly because of big tech, but it's also because of the woke folks in America these days that gives us pause to laugh hilariously at them at every turn in the road. Recently, a gardening group on Facebook, some 10,000 strong, were doing what they do. You know, they're exchanging ideas, opinions, helping solve each other's gardening problems, and the like. And of course, one person asked about the best way to clear weeds in the garden when dealing with certain pests. And of course, one person chimed in, use a push-pull hoe, HOE, garden implement. Facebook po-po to the rescue. Facebook, in flagging the post, sent a notification saying, quote, "We reviewed this comment and found it goes against our standards for harassment and bullying." First of all, Facebook, there's a distinct difference between a HOE and a HO. Pretty simple, okay? But what got me about all of this is, how does this in any way, shape, or form, in what universe does this constitute harassment and bullying? Of course, that is what we've become these days. It's also why, and this made it all the way to the Court of Appeals. In California recently, the appeals court struck down California law that would seek to punish people that would not use the preferred pronoun for an individual. This actually made it into law. So you're telling me we went to first grade together. I know what locker room you used. I know what bathroom you used. I see these things on the front of your chest that I don't have, that God designed to feed children with, among other things. Marty, that's for you. I know you're a female. But because you decide you want to be something else, now the law says I have to call you that? Oh, no, son. Not today, not yesterday, not tomorrow. This made it all the way to the freaking Court of Appeals. And yet, people will tell you that's not a legitimate concern. Why are you worried about that? Well, if you can do it with that, what else can you do it with? Multitasking, I guess. Speaking of multitasking, I've been telling y'all about this now for, what, Marty, about a week now? No, actually going on 2. Finn, you slacking. But I've been telling you all about the new addition to the menu here at Bayou Smokehouse. Talking about the turkey legs, the smoked turkey legs. Oh my God. First and foremost, they are American farmed, okay? Ain't none of that foreign stuff shipped over here. We're talking American turkeys. Seasoned the way Louisiana folk like, and of course, smoked for 4 hours. Now, let me see if, Marty, I don't know if this will work or not. I'm gonna put, to show you the size, I'm gonna put my hand in the shot. You see my hand here? There we go. Look how big that puppy is. We're talking 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of meat apiece. So if you are a real Louisianian, you know what you do, right? You come for lunch, get you one of these amazing smoked turkey legs, a side order or 2, bourbon baked beans, homemade mac and cheese from scratch. You eat, you fill, you don't eat all of it because then you ain't worth a dime when you get back to work. You get the itis, you know all about that, I'm sure. But then you take the rest of it home, and in the vernacular of South Louisiana, you chunk that puppy in a pot of beans. Talk about. Listen, y'all, In Louisiana, we not only eat with our mouths, we eat with our eyes. Food has to be as appealing to the eye as it is to the palate. You get all of that at Bayou Smokehouse. Not only that, but it's great food served by great people in a great atmosphere. My man Finn would love to see the head chef. He's one of these folks that has learned, and bless his little old heart, you can say anything about anybody in Louisiana as long as you preface it or end it with bless their little old heart. He's originally from Philadelphia. And I told him, hey, bro, we all have our shortcomings. We don't hold that against you. But he's been here long enough now, he and his mom, Mama B, they got the Louisiana thing down, y'all. They got it down pat. Take it from a Louisiana boy. They got it down. So when you see the sign that says Bayou Smokehouse and the moniker, the home of old school barbecue, they got it. Ain't none of that brush some liquid smoke on it and put it in the oven. I mean, if that's all you can do, I ain't mad at you. But that's not what we do in Louisiana. He understands that. The staff understands that. They understand you can go a lot of places and spend your hard-earned money to buy something to eat, but they appreciate the fact that you chose to come and see them. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. And whatever you do, don't leave without trying the bourbon baked beans or the homemade mac and cheese made from scratch, or, well, you get the idea, the brisket, the ribs, the whole nine. Do your taste buds a favor, and you can thank me later. Coming up next, the Exiles. My dear friends, Kevin Gallagher, woohoo, back in the house, and of course, Bill Profita. But that being said, time's up and I gotta go. Marty didn't give me the heads up, so I gotta do this real fast. This day, maybe more so than any other, I give it to you. You're right, America, you're so doggone right, we ain't perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you. And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. I'll make you a deal. Take care of yourselves. Let's take care of each other. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Tuesday. God bless.